And I just like wanted a piece of music to be able to, I don't know, one day like show our kids and be like, look at this. Like, look at this thing mommy and daddy made.
That's pretty amazing.
I can't believe it. Like, it's so cool to me.
Yeah.
I don't care what happens with it. I was just like so excited to do this with the person I love and freeze a moment in time in a way that not a lot of people have the ability to do. And like we were lucky enough to do that.
Yeah. What made you want to say that? Because that's a big step, I assume.
I definitely have never been the first.
So this is the first time in your life you were the first?
Yes.
Wow.
I wanted him to also know how committed I was. And deep down, I just felt that. And I was tired of protecting myself. We had spent enough time together where, I felt like this was my person, and I had the courage enough to say it, but I was very nervous, and luckily he said it back.
I think it's cool to like, I just feel like people like are trying to push people down a lot sometimes, like to make themselves feel better. But you look so much cooler and so much better if you're making other people feel
yeah, but it's not even that you would look
No,
cooler.
I know.
You'd feel like a better person.
That's what I'm saying though. But it's like, I don't understand why people like choose not to do that. And it's like,
yeah, it's something I'm very passionate about, something that I do want to start talking about more. I want to be a good example. I'm not the perfect person. Lord knows I've made tons of mistakes and continue and will continue to.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that we talk about that.
Yeah. I'm really glad you both raised it, because I think so many of us are actually accepting less than we deserve because we want what's cool, not what we deserve.
Yeah. Like really me explaining to you right now, I want to change my whole approach to anything because of like one thing that I did. Like that's sad. I don't have to change who I am. Like that was hurtful for sure.
I don't do any of that. Like when some people, I don't care what's going on.
No, he's great at that, which helps me not care as much.
In that moment yet or not yet?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay. So
that's what I was trying to figure out.
I had no idea. So I had no idea. And somehow we decide.
So wait, why did you do that if you liked Benny? Why were you sending?
Well, because I didn't know that it was going to be like, maybe I thought it was just going to be flirting and not really anything else.
Got it.
But I really started to just, I don't know, fall for him.
So I didn't know any of this. No. You're scared to say. And then after you're like, oh my God, I can't, like you want to say it 1,000 times in a row. You never want, I can't even understand how I went so long without saying it to her. I say it 3,000 times a day to her. And I make sure every day I say, I love you so much. Like I love you 1,000,000 times. And then I always tell her how beautiful she is and how lucky I am to have her every day.
It's so annoyingly cute.
And I always want to do that because I want her to know that every day I don't take anything for granted. And I still look at her and my breath gets taken away in so many different ways. And I said it to her last night. We were sitting, we were in like the pool or something together last night and we were just hanging out. And I was just like, you're so beautiful. And I don't mean that just physically. I'm saying like, you can feel it. There's like a ring, like an aura around her that exudes just like warmth. And it just,
you're like making me want to cry.
How do you react in the moment when that happens, Selena? Because Benny, we're basically the same person. I do the same thing to my wife.
Yeah,
I do that to Radhi all the time.
Like we're so lucky.
And Radhi will just pull the funniest face in the world.
Does the same thing.
I was like, how do you react when Benny's telling you all these amazing things, Selena? What do you say?
Because I say, no, let's be honest. I also am equally grateful, and I tell him that all the time. I just. It makes me feel like it's not real. And sometimes I'll be like, this seems too good to be true. Like, he's so sweet to me. But now I've accepted it. I think I actually love it so much that it just makes me want to give him that support and that love back. So it's safe to say I feel much safer doing that now. And I like it.
I think so many people feel that when someone's that nice, and that's coming from someone who's like that myself with friends, family, and obviously with my wife too, a lot of the time that's seen as a weakness. like people kind of look down on it when someone's that open about their feelings. Especially I get asked that a lot when I'm giving relationship or dating advice. People be like, oh no, but if I come on too strong, people get turned off. What this time was different for you, where it's like, he's being really affectionate, he's being really open, but there's a part of you that realizes that's what you want and that's what you deserve.
Because the world has become so hard to please, if you will. I'm called fake. I'm called, it's insincere. It's fake. All of this, like, it just doesn't feel safe.
That honesty that someone has in every area of their life, including their bad days, their tough days, their challenging days. Then when they're saying that, whether their day's good or bad, and they feel that way, it resonates with us. I think we all sense that. And I love what you said. I think it's so important that we make it cool again to care for people and be cared for. And we make it cool again to love people and feel loved. And we make it cool again for people to be kind and to receive kindness. And I think I really want people to get that from it, that you are going to have disagreements. You are going to want space. Like me and Radhi went through that. At the beginning of our relationship, if we had a disagreement, and we were the same, we made a rule that we would never raise our voices at each other, because I came from a home where it was not great. Yeah. She comes from a home where her parents don't raise their voices. But I was just like, I never wanted that in my home. I wanted the energy of my home to be so sacred. And I wanted the energy of the home to always have a space where everyone just walked in and felt like a warm hug. And I was like, we can't argue and then expect that to happen.
So when you take all your experiences, good or bad, like I'm like her. I take every experience in my life, my past partners, my family, my everything. It's like everything happened for a reason. And I'm not going to sit here and mope about like things that could be better or different. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, I learned this and now I'm going to put it into practice.
Yeah.
It wasn't a thing in my head. She cared about it so much. So I said, well, now I care about it because she cares about it. And I found myself not even thinking it was going to be a big deal till I was there. And then I said, holy shit, I'm getting married now. And in the moments leading up to it, it's not really real until it's real. I remember it was so special for me because it was special for her. And then it was, she said, the 2 times you said that were the best things in your life were that. And then when I got you Whataburger.
Yeah.
What's this? I want to know about this.
Whataburger is a restaurant chain that I'm not sure where they are, but they're not in California and they're not in New York. And I love this chain so much because there's a million in Texas where I'm from. And I love the biscuits, Texas toast, and gravy. It's so good. And we don't have that. And for Valentine's Day, he surprised me. And this was it. This is all we really did. I was on the phone and he comes in with Whataburger. And I literally look at him like I'm freaking out. And he had someone, apparently they opened up in Vegas. And while we were talking, someone drove, kept it warm, and then
didn't keep it warm.
Did you reheat it?
Yeah, what I did was I got all the parts to it and talked to the people there and figured out how I could reheat it the best way. And I was reheating it in all different ways, putting it together, and then I brought it to her. Because to me, someone like Sel could have anything in the world. The best thing you could do, and she said it right after. She said, right when I gave it to her, she said, I can't believe you listened and remembered my order and remembered all these things in such an easy way. And then you just did it. She said, that's what makes this gift so special, is that you actually like listened to the things, and it goes such a long way.
But I did say my 2 favorite moments are the proposal and Whataburger.
I was just
so far, and he's done wonderful things.
That's brilliant. So that story reminded me that I did know her, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And we went together.
Actually, the thought is what counts.
Yeah, I was trying really hard.
No, it's
but it's one of the, we've been together for 12 years and married for 9, so we're doing all right. But I look back on it and I look at how much of my life was just impacted by the world of love. And now knowing my wife as deeply as I do, I would do it completely differently. So I'm trying to convince her to renew our vows and our 10 years of marriage. And also because our friends have changed. Like, we got married nearly 10 years ago now. We've moved
Look
country.
at how much your life.
Yeah, so much has changed. And so I'm like, the people I want to celebrate my...
Did you even have the podcast then?
No, nothing. No.
How long? When did you have the podcast?
The podcast is 6 years old. Yeah.
And wasn't she on like your first ever episode?
She was my first episode. Yeah. My wife's my first episode. Yeah,
That's
for sure.
so sweet.
But yeah, I would do it again. And I think it's a great reminder of just how much we evolve and mature in relationships and how it's okay to look back and go, hey, like, you know.
It's a great story.
Yeah, it's a fun story. But yeah, no, I'm so happy to hear about how beautiful this proposal was. You nailed it, Benny. You just, you know.
No,
you're the man. I mean, it's beautiful to hear. And I mean, last time we were together, Benny, you were talking about wedding planning.
I feel like you still feel like you have that obligation to connect with like young kids because you shaped so many young people's lives, whether it was Barney, whether it was Wizards. And I feel like you're still finding your way to do that. And it's so crazy just to see, you know, because she's transcended into so many different categories. It's so hard to call her like, you know, a pop star, an actress, that, you know, you don't know what to call her. It's just so much of a multi-hyphenate. Yeah.
Just your name.
Yeah.
You notice it sometimes when we see people because you'll see a little girl come up to her crying. Then you'll see her older sister that's like 20. Then you'll see the mother and then the grandmother. So like, it's like she's hitting all these boxes in people's lives and touching so many people. And, you know, she's such a hermit that she doesn't even realize it all the time. And, you know, I'm always reminding her of like what she's doing and how special it is and how she's always been so, you know, outspoken and will always say what's on her mind and is always, you know, I just feel like there's not a lot of people who are like just absolutely authentically themselves. And like, that's what draws me towards her more than anything else. She's always going to tell you how she's feeling. She's always going to be herself. She's never going to try to be somebody else.
Well said. We've talked about so many different things and we are both kind of like that, you know, back and forth kind of people. But you've both done the final 5 before on the show. So we wanted to do something different with you both.
Okay.
We wanted to play a little couples game.
Oh.
So I'm going to hand you.
Oh my God.
These boards.
Oh, I know exactly what this is.
So you take one each. They're fun questions. Questions.
Okay.
I'm not going to take what you just told me and turn it around.
Okay.
So we're going to do... I'm going to ask you questions. You both have to write something down and then we'll reveal. So don't look at each other's answers.
Okay.
Question number 1. If Benny would cook you anything in the world, Selena, what would he choose to cook for you? So both of you can write down. So Benny, if you're going to cook anything for Selena, what would it be?
Oh.
Like, what do I think she wants the most?
Yeah.
Oh, because there's a few.
It's like 4 or 5 things. Oh, I think I know what she's going to say.
It's a hard question.
No, I think I know it. And then another thing was I really wanted a person that when I wake up, I think to myself, I'm like, how can I make Selena's day better? Like what can I do in my day to make her day better? Because then that makes my day better. And I wanted to find a person like that. And I know when Selena wakes up, like the first thing she's thinking is like, how can I make his day better? And we have such a give and take. Like I could never even see a world where I would ever yell at her. She would ever yell at me. Like we don't argue like that. Like I feel like we just have conversations. It's like I love people where it feels like they're like, and Selena does it too, where it feels like they're just kind of talking to you. And then you're like, oh wait, I'm listening to a song. But like, what?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, it's just, you know, making the album with her, I felt like it taught me, I was just like, we're really good at communicating with each other and saying like, and setting boundaries and saying when we like something, when we don't like something.
Yeah, how do you do that when you're in a relationship? And you're like, I actually don't like the sound of that. Like that's
We're both, I think it comes down to ego. And we both don't really have that. So if we disagree on something, it's like, okay, I agree to disagree. Like, that's fine. But yeah, of course, if I say, I don't know if I like that, he most of the time doesn't even question it and just is really receptive to my... Yeah, we just don't have an ego, so it doesn't matter. He could say, no, I don't like it. And I'd be like, okay.
That's amazing.
What I felt for Benny, it was everything about him was honest. When Benny looks at me, I don't think he sees anything but who I am. Oh, that's so cheesy to say, but when you do know, it feels right. Walking to his house or into his home to go to his friend's thing, I was very nervous. And I'm not normally like that unless it's like an event or something where it could be overwhelming. But with anyone I talk to, I'm able to talk to people and I feel like I'm good at it. But I just felt like all these feelings. And then when we went out, I was laughing and I didn't feel like he wanted anything or there was weird motives. It's sad that, people have to think that way, but I don't know. I felt this immediate safety and I was very pleased that, I don't know, we were friends and then I became,
The next time we hung out, we just hung out at home and we just we're chilling and we were playing that game.
We're Not
Really strangers.
Oh yeah. That's a great game.
And my friend made that game.
Oh wow.
And we were just playing it and we had both played it and I was like, okay, sure, we can play it. And we played it and there was a card that said take a selfie together. And we took a selfie. She screwed up. We took a selfie, and then right after the selfie, we just kissed. And then that's it. And then she's very private. And then basically the rest was history. And we started hanging out so much, and it just very quickly, I was like, oh my God, my whole life, I was like, oh, this is my person. I'm gonna marry this person. This is the thing. This is what it feels like. It was so different than any of those feelings. And I was like, holy shit, I met my best friend. This is my best friend. Nothing gets any better than this. It can't get better. There's no, this is better than any friend I have that's a guy and I get to kiss them. It was insane to me. So I was like, I can't let this go. And it was so funny because before I met her, with my therapist, I had made a list saying these are all the things I want. I'm tired.
Tell me the list.
You want to know it?
Yeah, I want to know the list.
Okay. So before I met her, I was a guy in LA trying to find the one for me, and I was having some trouble, and I think I was maybe not looking in all the right places, and I was like, okay, it's time to be a grown up. I want to start a life. I want to have a family. I want to find a person that is my other half that makes me feel better and I make them feel better. And it's a give and take. It's the perfect yin and yang. So I wrote down a list and the first thing on my list was age appropriate. Okay. So that was,
I love that. That's
great.
And it was 30 plus. Okay.
Got it.
So that was number one on my list.
Yes.
Not number one, but it was the first thing I wrote.
Yeah.
And then the second thing I wrote was I said, I know these are so simple, but it's so hard to come by. Somebody who's kind, compassionate, and caring. I was like, that's really 3 in 1. But that was but I was like, I need someone who's nice and is a genuine nice person.
You said something really important. The reason I'm bringing it up is because I feel a lot of women, but a lot of people feel this way. And you said when you first were meeting and recording together, there was a sense of you were protecting yourself.
Yes.
And I think that's a very human thing. And I think it's a very normal thing, and especially in this day and age, especially in your position to add to it. What was it that, at one point you said, I'm going to adopt at 35 if I don't find someone? You had your whole life mapped out when you met Benny. But then, and you said you were protecting yourself, but then you started to open up. Could you walk us through what gave you confidence to open up, but what that feels like when you're trying to protect yourself? Because I think that's the push and pull that everyone's going through.
Well, I think first of all, making plans and trying to stick to them is silly because you don't know what's going to happen. And I can't believe that I get to marry my best friend. But yes, I think for me, I was genuinely set. But it was once I let go of me just saying I want someone and I wish I had this and I wish I had that. Instead, I changed my mind to I'm so lucky that I get to wake up and my family's healthy and I love spending time with my friends. And you know what? If it doesn't happen, I know that I've always wanted to be a mom. And, so of course I kind of planned that out. I think it was because when Benny looks at me, I don't think he sees anything but who I am. And that's very rare to find. He knows when I'm feeling a certain way, and kind of before I can even let it get to a place where it's unbearable, he has already talked to me through a spiral and protecting myself on multiple reasons. Doing music, working with someone that's kind of, like, oh, I don't know if I should do that. But I genuinely it just happened. I think when and oh, that's so cheesy to say, but when you do know, it feels right. And I think that's what happened to me. And I just felt very comfortable with it.
Yeah. Benny, how do you feel that you almost sabotaged your relationship by nearly introducing Selena to your friends? How does that feel? Like when you're like, hey, wait a minute, come and meet my friends. There might be some nice guys for you to meet.
I feel like it all happens for a reason. Yeah. I feel like maybe me doing that is what disarmed her enough to we talked about this before. Like if we would have met each other when we were younger, it would have never worked. It's like we've both grown as individuals and met at the perfect time. And I believe life is like that. And sometimes it doesn't make sense. And sometimes it's not the right reasons. And we're like, why is this happening? But I always believe that I don't know. I believe in fate. I believe in all that. And I believe, if you're good to people karmically, it's going to come back to you 10 times over. Maybe you might get in that moment and someone's going to do you really dirty, but over a long period of time, I think things are going to go your way.
Yeah. Was it scary? Because you talk about being best friends so much. Was it scary thinking, what are we going to lose if this gets romantic? As friends.
No, it happened right away. It happened right away.
It happened quick enough.
This was all one day. Yeah. That was one day. Like everything really happened within. And then look, there was once we knew that we liked each other, there's that part where we're both extremely busy people. So it's like, it takes a second to where you fully prioritize, because it's like, at first you date someone, you say, okay, well, I'll see you this time once a week. And then it's like, oh, okay, this person's getting cool. We'll go twice a week. And then it's like, wait, don't leave my house. I miss you. Like it all happens so quickly.
One thing that you both did was you had a long distance relationship for a while. Like you were in different states and managing that. You both have crazy work schedules. And I was thinking in your positions, it can get very easy to be like, oh, that person's never available. They canceled again. Like, well, they've got a million things. They're running away. I mean, you were just about to say you both are starting to travel together right now for work as well. But how did you manage that? Because I think a lot of our viewers are like, do long distance relationships work? And do two busy people relationships work? How would you both say you've managed both of those parts?
Biggest thing in the world is trust. I can say with all my heart that I trust this person. So for me, knowing that I have a 12 to 14 hour day on set, I won't get to talk to him every second, which I don't need, but I know just hearing from him one time, check in with me and say, I love you and I hope the day is going well. I just feel safe and I've never felt that before. And if you feel like you're in a situation that doesn't feel like you're a unit, that makes it scarier. And then that causes friction. Then it causes trust issues. So for me, I would have to say communication and trust helps, but it doesn't always work. It's hard.
I feel like at the beginning, there were a few almost sabotages. She was like,
that's fair.
At the very beginning, in like her first few trips away, she was still gaining that trust. So there were moments
of sincere doubt.
No, yeah. And we all have,
that's normal.
We all have moments in our life because like we're only made up. I tell everyone this. It's like when you start dating someone, you're not only dating them, you're dating every single person they've ever dated, every single relationship they've ever had in their past, because you're getting every piece of baggage that person's carried and that what they've learned through their own personal life, through the life with partners, with their parents, with this, that. And I had to find a way to build that trust with her, not make it feel overbearing and make it feel real and make her actually believe it, and vice versa. Like, I know that she fully if I say, hey, I'm just going to do this today, there's nowhere in her mind that's thinking that. And if for any chance that I always told her, I said, it's okay. If you have moments of doubt in something, in a feeling, always talk to me and I'll talk you through anything that you may have. You know, if you say, hey, I know this is a crazy thing. I just had a dream and I woke up from this dream and I was upset. Sometimes she'll just say like, please tell me I can trust you, or please tell me you're not doing anything stupid. And I say, you can call me anytime you want. And I'm aware of her strengths and I'm aware of her weaknesses. And what I try to do is surround her with a lot of things to help her. So if she's away and I have to go to a dinner, then a party, then this thing, then that thing, it's a simple text in between each thing that says, hey, babe, I'm going to this next thing. I'm thinking about you. Hey, you know, where couples, where it starts to hit is when they miss that text. They don't call the person. They wait until the next, like, it's just like, I know what she needs to succeed. So I'm going to help her succeed. I'm not going to be a dick. I'm not going to hit her up. And she doesn't need a lot. She's like the easiest person in the world. But I know, yeah, she wants to talk to me before she goes to bed. She wants me to say, I love you. She wants me to text her if I wind up having to stay somewhere 2 hours late. Just a simple, take out your phone and done. And I know that, I know that stuff really helps, especially when you're long distance, because it's natural. You're far away from someone. You say, I'm not with this person. I'm not as connected to them. We're not meant to be far. You're not supposed to be long distance with your partner. You're supposed to be right next to your partner. We do things in life that we have to do. And we both are very focused on our careers and we're very driven, and you have to find a way to make it work that's comfortable. You have to talk to your partner. You have to understand them. I think people's biggest problems, especially men, are that we don't listen all the time. You got to listen. Just shut the up and listen. Listen to what they're saying. A woman is going to tell you exactly what she needs. Like when guys are like, I don't know what she wants. I don't know. She told you already. You're just an idiot. You're not listening. Just listen. If a girl is getting frustrated with you on something, she's definitely told you multiple times and you're just not paying attention. So it's like, just listen. And don't be reactionary. Proactively do these things. I don't know if you do the same thing, but when you're away from your partner, you just try to think of little things that's going to make them feel more comfortable, better. Yeah. You know, I'm on the other hand, I'm like living on the moon. So it's like, she doesn't have to really do anything for me because I'm all in on everything with her, and I fully trust her in every capacity. And my whole life, I've always been like this. I trust everyone until they give me a reason not to.
Yes.
Okay. And I trust people to be who they are. Okay. And so far, I know who she is. So until further notice, that's how I'm going to treat her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on it.
No, I love that.
It's the character that gets judged. It's the way I'm not white enough. I'm not Mexican enough. There's just so many different things that come up in my face that I can't help but see. It just doesn't feel safe, and I don't like being myself sometimes. That's a bigger problem than just talking about it in a relationship. I was very reactive. I think that's why I was alone for 5 years, because I really needed to collect myself. I think in the past, that's why I say to him all the time, and 10 years ago, it's not that I wouldn't have wanted to be with you. I just wouldn't have been in the right headspace.
I remember there was a time we didn't want this to be like a public thing because, unfortunately, for Selena, her life is always under the spotlight, being scrutinized at every moment and this and that, and for good, for bad. I remember sitting with her, and we'd been seeing each other, you know, secretly for months and months and months. And we were about to go to New York, and we just made a conscious effort that we were like, we don't want to do this anymore. We want to be able to go out and have fun and you know, just live our lives. And at that point, I knew that it was serious enough to dive in. Like that I was like, okay, I don't care what comes with this because I love this person so much already that like we literally said I love you on that trip.
Yeah,
she had already said I love you to me a few times.
Okay, wait. So the album I said I love you first.
Yes.
So Selena, you said I love you first.
Yeah, she said it.